Blog Talk Radio.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, and welcome to today's episode of Xandermonium, the talk show that gets you talking. I'm your host, Gibb, and we are very honored to have style guru Bobby Trendy on the show today to talk Hollywood and Nicole, his beef with Hollywood housewife Taylor Armstrong, and a lot more about Bobby in a mere moment. Now, if you want to interact with us during the show, because we're very high-tech here, you can send us telepathic messages, but a better way to get to us is in the chat room, which is at the bottom of the show page, or by telephone on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. Or you can interact with us on Twitter. My Twitter is at Xander Gibb. That's XanderGibb. That's XanderGibb. Or you can get Bobby on at Bobby Trendy TV. That's BOBBYTRENDY TV, and the TV is in capital letters. And we will endeavor to answer your questions as long as they're not anything from the Kama Sutra or Glee related. Okay, so don't forget to check out the Jake Pentland Show, Saturdays, 1 p.m. PST, 4 p.m. EST, with Jake, Jen, and DUI, and all the Cult of Jake peeps, and Time Out Seat with Brandy and Jenny, which is 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. EST today, normally, but check on the at Time Out Seats page on Twitter, which is at Time Out Seat, TIMEOUTSEAT, with Brandy and Jenny. Also, check out my sister from another mister, Fallon Stone, on the F Word X Experience, Saturdays, 3:30 PST, 5:30 EST. Hot topics of discussion on next Saturday's show is hate crime. So make sure you check in with Fallon next week. Also, check out the Rob and Trav show. From March 5th, they're going to be going on every Monday and Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. PST on grindhouseradio.com. Now, don't panic. Grindhouse is just a subsidiary of Gas House Radio, and it's for a more adult audience, so I'm told. So make sure you join them. Hello to people in the chat room. Hello to Marv, who says he's gone to the bathroom. Hi, Carly, who says Glee sucks, and she wants me to tell you about her upcoming show, which we have tentatively christened the BVRLY Show, with herself and Brody Stewart, which I think is going to be Saturdays, but I'm not sure. Oh yes, apparently it is, and it's going to be right before Jake at 11:30. Hi to Austin in the chat room, who apparently has friends over and is being a little pussy today, whatever that means. I think he read my comment about on Facebook about how the Vatican will signify that it's chosen a new pope by sending out a little poof. I think the poof was meant to be like a poof of smoke, but who knows with the Catholic Church. Well, I'm waiting for my guest to call in. So call in, Bobby. We're waiting for you so we can talk to you about Hollywood and everything else in between. It's always very difficult when your guest is late because you're kind of worried about what you're going to talk about in the interim. Well, I've had a very interesting week this week. I've been doing some home redecorations and moving some rooms around, which frankly has been very tiring. But I'm very pleased with the level of result that I've got. I actually found some dust bunnies that were like bigger than my head, but that's a different story. Right, let me just check and see Aha, I think my guest is here, so let me just do my introduction. So the world got to know him as the design guru and Anna's friend and personal designer on the Anna Nicole Smith show. But he originally came to my attention on the show How'd You Get So Rich with Joan Rivers, and believe me, I was hooked. The cameras follow him everywhere, and his style and eye for detail has made him a fortune. So I give you the gorgeous and sexy style guru himself, Bobby Trendy. Are you there, Bobby?
Can you hear me, Radio World? Can you hear?
I can hear you. You're live on Xandermonium. Welcome to the show, Bobby. How you doing?
Oh, thank you for having me. It's so exciting, the invention of radio, isn't it?
I know, yeah, and nowadays, like anybody can have a radio show. Not everyone can be good at it, but, you can do it from the comfort of your own living room, naked, lying on a fur rug just like I am right now.
Oh, yes. I'm still bewildered about all the neat inventions we have in this world so we can all live luxuriously so.
I know. Can you imagine what it would be like? Some of my friends have been watching this TV show, is it called The Living Dad or Walking with the Dad? And can you imagine what we would be like if it went back to the times where there was no technology or none of the modern conveniences we've come used to? I think I would probably have to die very quickly if I couldn't call out for pizza when I needed to.
Backwards.
It would.
It would be backwards and so bizarre. Now we need the Internet. Without the Internet, you don't have directions. You can't find something. How did they live without the Internet?
Well, I think we did, but I think we've just become so used to these modern conveniences, and every time they come out with something new, we kind of want something bigger and better. I mean, I know I do it. Every so often I want a new iPhone. I want the latest modern convenience, but I think it just makes us lazy. But I'm certainly not willing to give any of these things up, not very quickly anyway. So will you sorry, go on. Say again, I missed that.
Once you have these modern luxuries, you can't give them up.
No, and you always want the bigger and better next thing that comes out. My friend has this car with a camera on the back, so you can actually see how close you are. I mean, what next? A car that parks itself. I'm sure there is already one, out there.
Yeah, I like to drive my cars because I want to be able to make a decision. You know what I mean?
Me too. Oh yeah. I think when you take that human element away, what's next? We have this that we'll be getting these self-aware computers that are taking over the world.
Yeah, I still like to be able to do my own things, like driving the car and doing this and doing that. So I'm still going to keep old school with some things.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. So have you been brunching today? Have you been out today?
I just woke up. So
right.
I had a wonderful night out last night. I just woke up. I'm on my way to brunch right now because you need to eat.
Yeah, definitely. And who wants to cook in this modern day and age? So
it's cheaper to eat out. Why bother?
Yeah, I think so. And there's less there's less energy involved in deciding what to cook. I mean, I'm terrible. I'm a brilliant cook. You can tell that by the size of my fat ass. But the time that goes into preparing and deciding what to cook, it's just easier to call someone and say, "Make me this," and bring it over.
Let's talk about the cleanup.
Cleanup? What? The cleaning up after. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually gone to disposable plates for some things. If you're just making something quick, a disposable plate is so much easier just to kind of put in the trash after you've used it. I'm so gay. I used to kind of get the best churner out just to make a sandwich or to put a few olives on a plate. Not anymore. I can't be bothered with that. It's just too much. So let me take it back a little bit for you, Bobby. Where did it all start for you as a designer? And who was your first celebrity client?
Oh, I opened up a little clothing store that was very small, And then I sold clothes for $25 that I would buy at closeout places. So then I saw the excitement of the furniture world. Furniture in the last 10 years has really been a staple of our life, our lifestyles, and everything that encompasses it. So then I decided that Donna Karan, Calvin Klein had home lines, minimalism, this, simple, that. And I thought, well, what about the rich folks that want to show off their wealth, like all of these nouveau riche rappers and these people and these new in-towners they want to show off? No one's waiting on them. So I opened up my fancy store on North Cienega Boulevard, complete with tinted ceilings, fabricated walls, and we offered that look for you. And it was a hit. My first customer allowed me, without any experience, to tint her entire living room and dining room area. To tent means to do a carousel ceiling with fabric in the center of the room to the four corners and the chandelier in the middle. That's normally reserved for ballrooms only. But now I'm doing them in living rooms and such places. And my first famous customer was Carmen Electra. She allowed me to do that and much more in her home. And she didn't order one thing. She allowed me to do what I felt was good for her personality, her decor. And then after she came in, the people within a week, Usher Raymond had came in, and Cypress Hill, Mandy Moore, and all of these people. And I was very lucky that they would choose me, a new designer without an education. I want to tell everyone out there, there's a difference between being a designer and a decorator. I tell people I'm a decorator because I am uneducated, and I wanted to tell your listeners out there, you can still be whoever you are. And, some of these designers out there that have an education, they're older than I am, they look down upon me for being a decorator. But you know what? You don't need to have an education to dictate style.
No. I totally agree, and I think, and I do think that as a gay person, you generally kind of have a bit of an eye for what looks good and what doesn't. I don't know if that's kind of like a genetic predisposition for gay people, but I certainly think it's the case. I mean, most gay people's homes you go to are like, absolutely immaculate. There's always a flan in the oven, and the poodle's been reset, and. But I kind of I think for some people it is an inbuilt thing. But I don't think you have to necessarily spend thousands of dollars to you can get things looking good on the cheap, can't you? I mean, it's about getting the right stuff
all the time. Even if you just move into a new apartment, the smell of new paint is wonderful. The smell of new carpeting, and if you feel like it's a new year for you and a new time for you. What you can do is just paint a wall, and if you can't afford to wallpaper your entire place, wallpaper just made a big comeback, by the way. You can wallpaper just one side.
But it has to be hung right, doesn't it?
It has to be well wallpaper. So you could wallpaper just behind your bed or behind your couch in the living room, and a new coat of paint's only like $10. You can do it yourself by taking your time or hiring a day laborer. And with that new smell and new color, maybe you'll get up out of bed feeling energetic, want to do new things, So I always tell people out there, you don't have to be rich to be happy.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm clearly, I don't consider myself to be rich, but I think I have a good eye and I can put things together quite well. I'm by no means a designer, but, I've been paid to design rooms for people before. But answer me this question. I think if anybody can answer this, you can answer this. Now, why is it that I can't buy bolster pillows anywhere?
Oh, you know what? That's so funny because they're not that desirable. We had an order for bolster pillows this week. A lot of stores don't like to store them because they're space consuming, and they roll around everywhere. But they're beautiful to have at the end of your bed. Sometimes this one queen, I delivered a 10-foot long sofa last week, and you know how if your sofa's 10 feet long, you have 3 pillows in the back, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you have 3 seat cushions. So there's a split of seat cushions. What he did with the cylinder pillows, sometimes they're called, normally we put them next to each arm, on the inside of the couch. This queen, when you're sitting down, and your arm is on the arm, your right arm is on the right arm, and there's that split of the cushion right there to your left leg. He put one cylinder pillow there and one on the other side near the other arm, and I thought, that looks so neat.
Definitely. I kind of wanted some for on the bed too, because I think they work in the bedroom too. You know, they're kind of multi. Yeah,
normally they're in the bedroom as a finishing pillow at the end, and some people they put it along the entire headboard of the headboard of the bed as a cylinder pillow.
Right. Yeah, my sister has some in one of her bedrooms, and when I go stay there, I'm like, you know, I want this. Can I take it? She's like, no, I'll pick you one up when I see one, but no one seems to see them. I guess they were a bit fatty for a while, and then now, you know, they're gone.
Oh, yes. Pillows are wonderful.
So tell me, Bobby, how do you translate the wants and likes and desires of a client into the finished product? Because I'm guessing some people don't have a lot of style, and they say, I want this, I want this, I want this. But you know for a fact it's going to look like shit. Do you go with what they want, or do you translate it?
The ones that hire me don't do any type of decision-making. They have an empty place. They just want someone to do it.
Right.
You know, and then they look at my style book and they just say what room they like, and they point with their finger to what room they like. With the one room, you can tell what the rest of their place should look like.
Right. I see that.
You know, so, yeah, they don't sit there and pick and choose. That is a nightmare. When I was younger, thinking about interior design, which I never did think of, but when you think of interior design, you think of some person dragging wallpaper books and sample books to people's places. It's not like that with me, and it's not like that in this day and age. You tell them what you like, sort of, and they just do it for you. And if you don't like the color black or red, just say so.
No, I kind of get that, but I do. I just imagine some people would have kind of so fixed a point of what they want that they're immovable.
Kind of customers?
Yeah.
I just tell them, so what color do you want your couch? What shape do you want it in? They point to the picture of the shape, they point to the color, they point to the fabric. We just deliver it in a few days.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah, if they know, so like that, the queen with the cylinder pillows, he wanted a turquoise couch with some cylinder pillows. We delivered a turquoise couch with some cylinder pillows, and he was happy.
Wow. And I guess money is a kind of deciding factor in a lot of these things too, because I mean I have very expensive taste, but when it comes to actually putting it together, I end up kind of doing these things, you know, on a budget. Now a lot of people have compared you to. Sorry, go on.
They've compared me to who?
Liberace. How do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, I love that. Because when I saw him, I said to myself, I want to be like him. So I looked at all of his costumes and his capes, and when I went to my first red carpet party, there's a guy named merlincastell.com. If you like my outfits that you see online, order them from merlincastell.com. When I had my first red carpet party, he made me an outfit with a cape with these feathers around the edges. And I looked just like Liberace in this one photo, one of my earlier photos, and I thought, oh, God, this is so gorgeous. He created that image that I have of those extravagant outfits. And if it wasn't for those extravagant outfits that he makes for me, I would not be as important and as memorable, because those outfits really keep everything going for a long length of time.
Right. I think that you are kind of instantly recognizable. What kind of response do you get from the public when they see you? Are they usually friendly, or do some of them get a little?
I'm always smiling and happy. I'm chipper, Plus, they can also see the outfits are very detail oriented. When you touch them, there's Tempur-Pedic foam in the upper shoulders. They're not little pretend homemade outfits. The quality of his work, speaks for itself, and you can see it when in person up close. You want to touch the outfits. And when you look presented like that to people, they know you're not pretending. Rather than homemade little glued outfits like some of them wear.
But you don't always go out kind of extravagantly dressed, do you? Or do you? I mean, or do you ever? Go out in jeans and T-shirt and just a bit of eyeliner.
Yeah, a little bit of makeup, but normally I wear regular clothes. But for events and parties, you want to give them what they want to see.
You do.
They want to see
Absolutely.
that. So,
because if they see you just as like knobby normal, it's like what makes you different, what makes you stand out. I mean, the Xander that's going for brunch with friends looks totally different to the Xander that's going to a party or an event. When I get invited to them, I'm totally extravagant, and I think it's important to be, remembered. I want to go out and I want to be seen, and I want people to say, was that Xander Gibb? Not just because I'm opening my big mouth in public as usual. So you're originally from Valencia, California. Do you keep in touch with any of your school friends, and are they supportive of your success?
Yeah, I've seen them. Some of them chit-chat with me on Facebook and stuff. It's fun. I grew up in a very conservative area,
Right.
So it's a bedroom community. But now I live in a different place. It's different.
Right.
It's wild down here. I love it.
Oh,
so much.
I would move there in a mere blinking of an eye. I would be there, really. I mean, Hollywood, I would love it, I think.
I love it so much here. Nothing would change my life to move back. It'd be outrageous.
No, and I don't think you would get the same level of reception. I mean, I went about 15 years ago. I used to live in the UK, and I'd lived in London for a long time, and I went back to my UK hometown, and I always kind of wore a bit of makeup and dressed a little bit differently, and someone put it in the local paper that I was back in town, and I was like, wow. It was funny. I mean, is the town that boring that, a guy walks around and, with a bit of makeup on and a hat and, that they have to write about it in the paper? I mean, I find some of my old school friends are not sure how to respond to me, being New York's queen of all media and all. Ha ha.
I love it. It's so fun to live. I don't know why people.
I know, yeah, and I don't know if you've seen, on the header for my show, it says about, my unapologetic response. And I kind of feel like I have an unapologetic response to life. And I think you have to have that, because otherwise you live your life not having pushed those boundaries, No,
and you have an opinion that you're entitled to. And sometimes your opinion is based on your individual history and your life.
Absolutely.
Not everyone has walked in the shoes of Xander Gibb.
No, that's right.
You speak from your opinion.
Yeah, and I think everyone's experience is just as valid, wherever it's from, whatever it's, encompassed, everyone's experience is just as valid.
Oh, yeah. And everyone's opinion is important to me.
Absolutely. So you're good friends with Jonathan Chang. I have to say that your back and forth with him on Facebook is absolutely priceless.
Do you love his birthday pictures I posted for him?
I do. I loved his pictures. I mean, I like Jonathan. I've always had a very good rapport with him. So are you, I think sometimes people think with friends, because you two bitch together, sometimes people think that there's this competitive edge, but I get the impression that you're sisters really, aren't you?
Yeah, well, he used to babysit me when I was young. He's older.
Right. I was gonna ask you if he was older than you. I noticed you when it was his birthday recently. You gave his age.
I thought that was that I posted were self-explanatory.
Yeah.
The lighting wasn't that good. I happened to notice after I posted them.
Right. I think it was funny though, but I think that, I mean, I don't kind of know you that well, but I get it. I think there's this kind of unwritten rule about being able to bitch with your sisters that perhaps you couldn't do with other people.
Sisterhood.
Absolutely. So. Sisters are doing it for themselves. So. You were a friend and a colleague of Nicole Smith, and it was recently the 6th anniversary of her passing. What did you do to commemorate this, and how did she impact your life?
Well, she changed my life by having me on her show, because if I wasn't on her show, I would not be a recognized person, you know.
Right.
She featured me in her highly rated show at that time. There's only 2 shows to watch, the Osbournes and the Anna Nicole Smith show. So those are the 2 reality shows to choose from. Nowadays, there's so many shows, it would be hard to become famous on some of these other shows.
Right.
So it was the chosen show to be on. And many viewers, and because she was so sensational that you had to watch that show, you wanted to watch that show. It was intriguing. You know, you wanted to be her. So everyone watched the show, and it brought me notoriety. And I don't know anybody that has stretched their 15 minutes of fame like I have.
No, I think that you know, it's been unfortunate for me here, but I've not been able to get that foot in the door as yet over here. But I think when you do, you really have to kind of, you know, turn it into an elastic band, you know, into a rubber band, because
you have to stretch it out with
you do
things that are fun and that are good, and that if you have a job, people like that. At that moment in reality, it was just starting. None of these idiots have a job, you know. I was quoted as the only person in reality that had a job, and I was on a show decorating someone's house, and you saw me at work, you saw me dealing with customers and how it was. So all the doctors and nurses and postmasters and sales clerks at the grocery store, they related to me because I worked like they did, and I dealt with strangers and weirdos and people. So they liked seeing that I worked like they did, and I wasn't hoping to win a prize. There's no prize to win or money or compensation. So they just saw me working like they did, you know, and it was fun, you know.
Now, she seemed to, you know, I didn't know Anna, and you know, I wish I had done. I think I would have been good friends with her. But she seemed to not have a problem sharing the limelight with people. Was that the case?
Oh, yeah, she loved it. She said the more the merrier. She was a party girl. She wanted to party. She wanted to have fun. She didn't want to sit home and watch Oprah and read books and talk about puppies and flowers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And she came from nothing too, didn't she? Let's face it, she worked her way up. I read somewhere once that, you know, she'd been working in a diner or some drab job before she'd kind of,
a little
you know,
chicken place.
Yeah, that was it. It was a chicken place.
She made her own fame. I mean, I don't know anyone that came from such nothing and rose to such international stardom, because when she died, it was international news, front page for 3 months, because her death was so bizarre. Who killed her? How was she killed? Who was there? And then the whole thing with who the baby's father was and everything.
Yeah.
No one could tell what was going on.
Now, do you know Howard and the other guy? What was the cute guy called? I can't remember. Howard. Howard and Larry. Right.
Well, Larry was a photographer. I would see him in the background all the time, but I didn't know him.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I think the world was shocked and saddened by, you know, not just her death, but her son's death. You know, I mean, it was just like
everything happened so quickly. He died. She died. What happened? Nobody knows. No one will really know. Similar to that death of Marilyn Monroe, no one really knows what happened in that bedroom. Even though her maid came out with, I don't know, a book or an interview or something, it was really hard to tell what the truth was.
Yeah. And I think it's, you know, with hindsight, I hate these clever bastards that after someone they know has died, you know, and they say things like, oh, well, it was on the cards, and, oh, you know, this was this and that was that. You know, surely if you're a friend of someone and you see that they're going on a roller coaster, you would intervene. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't let
do something about it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Those type of people, they're called coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. And I think there's far too many of these people.
Many of them. And I wanted to tell all your viewers, like I always say when they ask about Anna Nicole Smith, when I did the mini interviews when she died, I did 6 to 10 interviews a day. I did not accept any money for any interviews. I do not accept money for any interviews for Anna, regarding Anna Nicole Smith, her death, her life, or anything like that, when all these peddlers were coming forward saying, we'll do an interview for $100 or $200 or whatever. I did my interviews for free because I wanted to speak the truth. I wanted to say what I wanted to. I didn't want people to tell me what to say. So I did all that, and I have not yet to come out with a book because a lot of these peddlers, I call them out there, they may have partied with her one night, took some pictures, gave her a dress or something, and then
parasite.
Yeah, and they come out with these little phony books and stories and whatever. I have yet to come out with a book.
Right.
And if I do come out with a book, it'll be a very positive book.
Right. And not just a sensationalist kind of account.
And whatever.
No.
You know.
So do you feel her passing left a big gap in your life?
Yeah, it was so terrible because if it wasn't for her, I mean, unlike these other ones, I'll tell you, if it wasn't for Anna Nicole Smith, I would be nothing today. I truly would be just a furniture seller. She made me internationally famous, and I always tell my interviews that because a lot of people sway away from things that made them famous or their big break or whatever. I don't do that. Anna made me famous. She single-handedly did that, and I thank her for that and every day because if it wasn't for her, I would not be able to live in a house with 500 dogs, drive an air-conditioned car, and live like her. She wanted me to be her. She wanted me to have the things that she wanted, you know. So if it wasn't for her, I would not be, you know.
I think that's very commendable of you to say that.
You know, I have to speak the truth.
Absolutely.
Think, you know, they're on American Idol, and they're so great, they're so amazing, and then they don't want to talk about it. They want to disassociate themselves from American Idol and other shit. No, you need to pay homage to those that make you rich and make you famous. And just like that drama with Kelly Clarkson and Clive Davis, I don't even know this drama, but if it wasn't for Clive choosing her for his record label, what would she be doing? Selling pumpkin seeds and tampons still?
Yeah, or hosting, you know, I don't know, something menial, something mediocre.
You know?
That's not to decry her talent, but, you know, there are a lot of us out there that are really talented, but it's about getting that break.
You need
that
break, and you need to be very fortunate and know that and pay homage to those that give you that break.
You absolutely do. I would, you know, if someone came to me tomorrow and said, here's a reality show, I would, you know, I'd bite their balls off, basically. But somebody gave me a very interesting piece of advice, like 20 years ago, when I was a mere little homosexual trying to make my way in the world. They said, Xander, you got to look after people on the way up because you will need them on the way down. And I really took that to heart. I really think I've tried to do that because no matter how big you are, no matter how famous you are, you're always going to, you know, need other people.
And so people are wonderful.
Absolutely. I think it's important to surround yourself with positive people because there are so many negative Nancys out there that want to kind of put the boot in and get bad shit going on in your head and in your life. And it's so important to keep on that positive track and keep them out of your life, which leads me very, very aptly onto what's been going on with you and Real Hollywood Housewife, Taylor Armstrong.
You know what? I'm very friendly with all these housewives, especially Lisa Vanderpump and Adrienne Maloof, who I was at her house all Christmas. Taylor is a wonderful and kind person. However, I designed these 6 dresses, and which I was starting to fool around in fashion, and my dresses are beautiful. She borrowed them, and she never gave them back. And I've emailed her back and forth, and she says she can't find them. I'll tell you right now, if I had 6 Chanel bags given to me by somebody, I would know where they were if they wanted them back.
Because I think you should be taking better care of other people's stuff than your own, truly.
Beverly Hills Housewife, very white trash, and it doesn't show her wealth. Here in Beverly Hills, people are here to show off their wealth. You know what I mean? And if you want to look like a Beverly Hills housewife and not a housewife from somewhere else, then you need to showcase that. If not, someone like me is going to call you out on it because I don't owe anyone a dime.
So did you know her before the Beverly Hills Housewives series? Or
I met her at the premiere party. I met them all at the premiere party, and then they came to a liking of me. It was fun. I had a table. They all sat near me. I sat at the table where the air conditioning was, so they all wanted to sit near me because of the air conditioning. And then they became friends with me, and I've been frequenting Lisa's restaurant right when the show started for, I guess, 3 years now. So I became friends with her, and then Adrian, Chef, and I are very good friends. So I come over there and we play in Beverly Park, and it's such a luxurious place to be. No place is like living in Beverly Park.
Right. So how do you see this resolving itself at all?
You know what? I don't know. If she wants to be white trash and not pay for them, I'll tell you right now, I'll stretch this out as long as Kingdom Come. You know what I mean?
To me,
and it's just white trash.
Because to me, this is simple contract law, isn't it? She has 6 items that you made, 6 of your products that are worth X amount. If she's not returning them, then surely she should just pay for them.
Yeah, I'd rather not have the money. I'd rather have the dresses, I told her. I don't want the money. I do not need the money. I'd rather have the dresses back. But if you don't give those back to me, just pay for them so I can have them remade.
So someone in the chat room wants to, Carly in the chat room wants me to ask you. We have a chat room on the show page.
They can ask
she
live.
says,
I'm ready.
What?
Tell
she said,
call in.
I'll give the number in just 1 second. Ask him if he went to Sir Restaurant meeting Stasai and Jax.
Oh, you
whatever
know what?
that means.
I live down the street from that place. I have seen them there, but I have not met them. I normally Christy waits on me at that restaurant. It's a very sexy place to be.
So we were just talking about the number. If you want to call in with questions for Bobby Trendy, you can call us on 347-884-9061. That's 347-884-9061. I'm sure Bobby's prepared to answer any of your questions as long as it's not how big is his penis. So what is it with these reality stars, Bobby? I mean, like you said, you don't decry the fact that you started, it kind of got you going, it got you started.
Oh, it
What is this hype about these stars that they get bigger? Because the term stars, I don't think you're a star until you've done something to warrant that, a
lot of these days, these type of shows, these contestant shows, they don't realize that once a contest is over, their fame is over. Right. They need to continue on stretching that fame, maybe in that genre, whatever contest you won. You may want to take that up as a career of some sort, like the RuPaul show. Right. I feel that when those queens are on that show, the winner coming close to winning, right when that winner comes out, he or she should come out with a book about how she won the crown, in her opinion, what her little life is about and whatever. A book deal will be $100,000 down at least. Yeah.
Hello? Hello, Bobby.
That's it. And they don't do anything further than the little lives over.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I don't know what this big hype is. I mean, like you said earlier, I think it is important to stretch it out, your 50 minutes of fame, as much as possible. I mean, the Kardashians, they have fingers in so many pies. They've got all these good luck to them. They've got all these TV shows going. But personally, I don't think they've got an ounce of talent between them, No. They don't sing, they don't dance.
Attention. Yeah, if you can go into some kind, you need to stretch that up. Come out with a book, come out with a tampon, come out with whatever you want. But you need to stretch that out, or you will be going back to your little day job. You know what I mean?
A Kim Kardashian tampon. I was saying on my show last week, I was really concerned that Tyler Perry had cast her in a show. I'm a trained actor. Why should this bitch be getting roles in movies before trained actors?
You know what?
Just
I
because
have
she's
to
known.
say at the time and a place. I met Kim before her show, and she was telling me about this potential show with her and her 9 family members, and I had no idea that she was going to be talking about something really big, you know what I mean? It was really, really neat. I remember that day I met her on Little Santa Monica Boulevard, and she was telling me about that. And that was just really neat, and I was so excited for her, You never know when your day is, you know what I mean? Today could be your day, and I tell people all the time, it's never worth killing yourself. You should live for the moment. Tomorrow might be your day, and
Absolutely.
just live and have a good time, and don't worry about your rent. Don't worry about your cell phone being turned off. Just tell the landlord, tell the cell phone people, I'll make a $5 payment today, and I'll pay you next week. Listeners out there, let me tell you, these places only care that you are not dead. As long as you can make a $50 card note payment or $10 or whatever you can afford, as long as they know you're alive, don't you worry. They're not doing you any favors. They're charging you high interest on your car note, your cell phone tab. Every time they turn off your cell phone, they charge you $36. It's happened to me many times. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I pay my bill. It will be back on, but I'm assessed my fee. So what you do is you call them and tell them, I have to make a payment arrangement. Your phone won't be turned off. As long as they know you are alive, your phone, your note, whatever.
And that you're making an effort.
That you're alive. That's all, making an effort.
Because they know they're going to get their money eventually.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
think it's so important, Bobby, not to be proud. I mean, I do lots of different jobs. I go out as a singer. I go out and host karaoke. I work as a DJ. I do whatever I can do to survive until that opportunity comes along that's going to make it big for me.
And isn't it wonderful that you are physically able to do so? Because do you know who Rudy Delamore is?
No.
He's a local, comedian. He goes to all the bars and everything, and he does these outrageous acts. I remember when I was younger. I just saw on Facebook today he's in a coma, and he'll probably go to heaven tonight. And it's wonderful that you're, vivacious and able and physically able to do all these things when there's many people out there in hospital beds, against their will for all kinds of reasons. So everyone out there should just live for the moment. And I just care if your rent is paid. I don't care about anything else. You can wear the same thing like I do every single day as a boy.
I think,
and it's okay.
It's kind of doubly frustrating when you have abilities. I think that unfortunately in this country we've become too concerned about what you look like rather than what you can do.
And then what you can accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
everyone's
the way
important to me.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't feel that person next to them is important, but realize that person next to you is someone's mother, someone's son, someone's daughter. Oh, you know what, Xander? This phone is about to drop dead.
Oh, really? Gosh.
Yeah,
do you not have a charger?
Off. No, I don't. I'm in the car driving.
Well,
if
it cuts off, it's cool. I appreciate you.
If it cuts off, listener, listen. We are going to do part 2 of this interview.
Definitely.
I want to answer all these questions. Let's do part 2 tomorrow.
Well, I don't have a segment booked tomorrow.
Or Sunday. Next Sunday. Let's have another person.
Definitely. I'll call you and
we'll do part 2.
So can I ask you a few more questions before your phone dies?
Hey. I'll ask.
Okay. So is there any truth in the rumor that your female maid cleans naked to ensure she's not stealing from you?
Did I do what?
Is there any truth in the rumor that your female maid cleans naked to ensure that she's not stealing from you?
No, I don't have a maid. I clean myself. I don't like people over.
I just saw that in an interview that you did, and I thought it was quite funny.
No.
So you're a dog lover. How many do you have? And you walk them yourself?
5 to 10 dogs. 5 to 10 dogs at all times. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so as you've not got a lot of time left, let's play a quick game of marry, fuck, or kill. Hello? Did I lose you already? Hello? Well, I think that was Bobby's phone dying on us. So let's kind of bring the show to a close. I'd like to thank Bobby for calling in. We will try and do part 2 of that interview when his phone is a little bit more charged. So thanks to everybody for listening. I'm sorry for the show being cut short today. We will be back with you next week, same time, same place, for Xandermonium, unless we have any callers that want to call in before we close the show. Oh, we have a caller. Hello, you're live on Xandermonium. Is that you back, Bobby? Hello? No, the call got dropped again. So it doesn't look like we've got any more callers today. So thanks to everybody for listening to this shorter than usual episode of Xandermonium. Thanks to everyone in the chat room. Thanks to Carly. Thanks to guest 10436, guest blah, 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 blah. Thanks to Kathy, 25. We know you're really 30, Kathy. Thanks to Marvin. And thanks to Austin for joining us today for this slightly shorter than normal episode of Xandermonium. Thank you very much, and I will see you and speak to you all very soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Love, it has been good to me this time around. Things were never bound to change when it was